I'm Amanda. I'm the CEO and the founder of Forward Motion. And Forward Motion's mission is creating generational prosperity one family at a time. The purpose of our podcast here is for us to deliver how all of that ties in, getting your money right, ties in with your finances, career development. Do you have a question
I do.
or
All right.
interesting fact?
Today it's actually a question. Although to follow up on our last created it, decided he needed to take a spoonful of it every day.
Thank you for continuing that research journey.
Yeah, I did.
Really appreciate it.
Okay. So, and if you want to know what we're talking about, you gotta go listen to the last episode. Today, my question is, in a different path than you have today, what would it have been or what would it be?
That's a great question. If there's anything about my past that I could change, what would I change? Or, what would I do differently career-wise or whatever? I always come to the same conclusion of all of the things that I've been through. Every mistake, every triumph, all kind of builds to kind of be a little smarter. Is I would encourage myself to recognize at each step of the way how I'm further than I was before, and it, like, praying or manifesting to try and be there years ago. So, like, take pride or take excitement at whatever my idea of the finish line was at the time. But yeah, that's kind of how I think about it. That's a really great question. What about you?
I like your answer.
You're getting overcomplication from me every time.
For me, I think it would be like my musical journey. I would have embarked more in that. Relationships and walks of life that I would never change. But there's just also something, and you already know this about me, and even yourself I still can. It's just harder to find, the time. And also it's harder to pick up a skill set at this age as opposed to if I would have started when I was younger, but tell me to go. And I'm like, I want to. Can I? I don't even know. And then I'm like, I don't even have anybody to like play the guitar. I think about it all the time, like taking a class to either pick up an instrument or just even learning music.
Singer, for those of you who may not know, but Sarah, she could be a famous singer.
No.
Her voice.
I wouldn't sing.
Chorus concert.
Thank you. I appreciate the shout out. Phoenix Women's Chorus does have a concert coming up in May, and I will be letting you all know about it.
She's gonna have some solos.
My path would have taken me to a street corner with a guitar, making, little to no money.
Your path can take you there. There are plenty of street corners.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like,
if the right street corner comes along, you never know.
A city bus flash mob would be awesome, where we all get on the city bus somewhere or the light rail or whatever, and we just start. We have our. They'll have no idea about any of our passion. They'll be like, "Come here, baby. Come over here. Don't sit next to the crazy ladies." Oh goodness, we should probably do it both ways. We should do just us two as the crazy people, and then have something a little bit more, little bit more choreographed. Good question.
Thank you.
I love that. Made me think. Mm-hmm. Well, if there is, I guess that there might be one thing that I would change. If I had started investing when I was, Marcus's age or younger, Marcus is my son. That's something that I would, on the basics of investing, right? What is it? What are some myths about investing that we can kind of bust? And we have a few, other questions and things that we'll go over. So I want to just kind of jump right into what is investing. And I want to later in this episode, Investing is investing is defined as the act of committing money or capital to an endeavor with the expectation of obtaining an additional income or profit. So now, with the expectation that it's going to create more money later. So taking money and doing something with it, right? An investment activity, a certain percentage of that investment, it's going to increase, and then you're going to have that money later. So investing in a lot of ways is the opposite of consuming. Bottle, share the love, spread the love. It was me consuming. So I needed the water bottle. They're a great deal at Costco. I got 2 of these for only $20. Bought this and now I'm using it. It is depreciating in value day after day every time I use it, and it's never going to make me more money than what I spent on it, unless one day an antique and is worth some type of collector money, right? But that chance is slim. So consuming is extremely important in this society, and because you don't want to be at the end of your life and hoping that you're going to live on Social Security alone. If you're my age, you can hold your breath for that Social Security. It's not going to be there. Okay. They're liabilities, right? Things that cost money that do not create any type of income for us as a society. The United States, as a society, that's the individuals and how we kind of live our lives. Sarah, when you think of investing, like what comes to mind as far as like what is?
I would say, investing is making some form of like a monetary value investment, whether it be in a stock market, in property. You're giving that money to somebody else or another for whatever, in a company, or you're buying property that somebody's going to live in and you're going to rent out in return, either have it paid off and or gaining a profit.
Exactly. It's an educated guess that will ideally be profitable, that people deal with when it comes to the potential for investing, is that there's risk, right? A business consulting company, a global business consulting company, and I took this course through them, and it was about business, and one of the things the outcome is going to be, like, risk can have positive return, it can also have negative implications, right? But risk inherently, it's about investing, is that it's too risky. And one of the things that I remember as a young person is talking to things, my granddaddy, and I remember he had, and I think I mentioned this in an episode prior, but like sometimes people say things and they might not even was my granddaddy saying like, oh, the stock market, it's too risky. And I remembered that at a young age, someone who I'm really, really, really looking up to financially, like, but that's not, I don't know, I have something in my eye. That's not, I've like done that like 80 times. The end all be all to knowledge, and I use resources, and I'm not ashamed of that. So, one resource that I use is Schwab, and that's on investing. And so I'm going to read from there. Is investing risky? And I just want to read a little bit, and then I kind of want us to talk a little bit about that. But we believe the best way to do this is to have a plan, know when you'll need the money, and diversify your portfolio. So all of your eggs in one basket. You want to divide your money among stocks, bonds, and cash investments based on your risk tolerance and time. Small caps, companies have a valuation of less than $2 billion, and international. And within those divisions, you could have stocks representing move in tandem. And so if you're watching, I want to share just a quick visual. And I've had this up since we were talking about that. So I'm just going to plug in kind of the numbers here so that we can kind of get a good look at 401k, because 401k gets knocked, but honestly, like, even if wherever you are, just, make sure that if someone's going to give you free money,
Right.
take the free money. Like, don't not take free money. That doesn't make sense. So let's say you're 30 years old. Let's use a moderate age, and let's say you're making $50,000 a year, and you're just starting your 401k. You've never done it. You've never bought or put into a 401k, and you're barely getting started. So let's say that you're going to take just 5% of your income, because your employer matches 5%, or sorry, your employer matches 100% up to 5%. Okay. So that means that if you put 5% in of your current salary, they're going to put that same amount in. But if you any more above 5% that you contribute, they're not going to match you anymore. So that's what that means. Let's say you want to retire when you're 65. Hopefully it's younger than that, but if 65 is the age, and let's say you're going to live into your 85, and you're expecting a 3% a year salary increase, and then the expected annual return is on that 401k. How much money do you expect for that 401k to give you a return on your investment each year? So we're going to use an expected return of 6%. That's pretty modest, but I always like to err on the side of caution. And then we're going to say that we're expecting inflation to be 3% a year. So basically, honestly, you're just getting really a 3% return if you account for inflation, right? So then we calculate that. And what this is going to say here is, at the retirement age of 65, your balance is going to be $836,399, which is equivalent to $297,000 of purchasing power today. So what this calculator has done is it said, I'm going to take into account inflation over the course of time as well. So this $800,000 is really like $300,000. Just like $100,000 today, if I go back to my grandmother's time, $100,000 is, was like $500,000 or more, right? So if you are then, and then it goes into, if you're going to withdraw monthly $5,992 a month, that's what would be able to be withdrawn in retirement until you're 85.